How's it going, everybody? Welcome to my new video. As you can tell, I'm doing voiceover right now because I actually had some technical issues and none of my footages has audio, except for the very last one. But luckily, I planned to do the voiceover to begin with because it was very noisy that day. I spent a lot of time just waiting for traffic, and as you can see about now, I lost all my patience, so let's just jump right in. So today we are installing the new Fitment Lab front overfender. I put these fender flares on because I had a set of Cosmos wheels and the rear wheels were 18 by 10 plus 20, I believe. Ain't no way they're gonna fit under the stock body. They worked, but after I put them on, I realized that these flares don't really allow much suspension travel. So what happened was, over the bump or the car squatting, the tire will just make contact with the flares. As you can see, they are already broken. Right now I am just cleaning up the surrounding area of the fender. Car's been sitting outside for a while, it's kind of dusty. Doing this just to make my life a little bit easier, because later on I'm going to use the masking tape to mock up the overfender, and sticking the masking tape onto a clean surface allows me to peel it when I need to adjust the position of the overfender. Okay, for the first step, I am using the masking tape to tape the overfender onto the car and try to align it as good as possible. During this step, you can check the fitment of the overfender, see which area requires trimming or cutting. But luckily for this overfender, there is absolutely zero work required. Absolutely amazing quality, amazing fitment. So shout out to them. So after you're done taping down the fender, as you can see right now, I'm actually taping down the edge of the fender because I want to mark and drill on the tape instead of the fender itself. So you don't have to worry about cleaning the marks if you measured it wrong, or you changed your mind, or chipping the fender while you're drilling it. Now for the second step, we're gonna take the measurement, do the calculation, and mark down where we want to drill the holes. Take your time doing this step because you want to make sure that the distance between each hole is even all across the board. Don't rush it. Make sure you measured it and calculated right, because if you're not sure, just do it again, because there is no going back once you started drilling. And for real, take it seriously. I've seen way too many people just improvise during this step, and the holes will be 5 inches apart, and then 10 inches apart, and then 15 feet apart by the end. So please don't be like that. Okay, just do it right. So the overall length of the E36 sedan front fender is 116 centimeters. I needed to drill 6 holes, but I forgot that I already marked the first one and the last one, so it means I only need to mark the 4 holes in between. That means I need to divide the 116 centimeters by 5, which would be about 23 centimeters. That'll be the distance between each holes, and with about half of a centimeter of wiggle room. And now you can see I'm drilling the pilot hole for the first one and the last one, and I'm showing you all the marks that I've made for each hole. Some of the areas are kind of messy, that's because I just changed my mind. But when you're doing it, just to make sure that you don't confuse yourself when you're leaving all the marks. When you start drilling, you want to make sure that you secure all 4 corners first before you do anything in between. Because the fender will move around if you do it one by one. Let's say you drill the first corner, and then you move on to the second one, that shifts a little bit, the third one shifts a little more, and the fourth one would end up all the way in the middle of the hood. Obviously I'm exaggerating right now, but just make sure do all 4 corners and then do the rest. Messed up the order a little bit over here, but this is the rivets that I'm going to use. I got it from Amazon for $9, I think. It's 3/16 inch diameter by 1/4 inch grip. Pretty nice package, really neat. And for the drill bits, you want to use a smaller size bit to drill the pilot hole first, and then use the bit that has the same diameter as your rivet to drill it out. So in this case it will be the 3/16 drill bit. And you just saw me drilling the pilot hole for the 2 corners. Now I am just using the 3/16 bit to drill the hole out to the correct size. After that, you can get this Cleco pin. You use this special pliers to compress it, and then insert it into the hole and then release it. Now the pin works as a temporary rivet that holds the 2 panels together. And now we're just gonna do the same to the rest of the 3 corners. After we finish securing all 4 corners, now we can finally move on and drill the rest of the holes. Yeah. After you're done with all the drilling, you can remove all the pins and take off the tape. Save yourself some time over here. Just take this piece of tape off and stick it onto the other side, so you don't have to take the measurement and do the calculation again. You see what I'm trying to do over here? I'm actually trying to say something that matches my hand gesture when I was recording, and I actually don't remember what I was saying at all. So what you're seeing right now is just a habit of mine. You don't have to do this. I don't think it's necessary, but it definitely is a good habit. So whenever it comes to cutting the OEM body panel, I always use masking tape to pretty much separate the area that I want to cut and the area that I want to save. So when I'm cutting, I can just focus on cutting, and I don't have to think about if I'm cutting too much or too little. And it also helps me to create a clean cutting line. But that's just my OCD because nobody can see what's going on behind the overfender. Oh, just in case you're curious, the piece of metal that I cut off and this look how proud I am. The piece of metal that I cut off and this piece of overfender both weighed about 3 pounds. So this is not much of a weight reducing modification. It's more for function and for look. Alright, that's it for this week's video. Thank you for watching. I hope you like it. If you do, feel free to hit the like button and leave a comment. If you want to watch more of this, just subscribe to the channel. I'll try my best to upload 1 video per week. And next week I'm gonna do the rear overfender installation. Yeah, see you guys then. Peace.